Potential trouble for Super League clubs. Real keep La Liga hopes alive. Messi's contract is on the table. Alaba agrees switch, and the transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and of course there's more fallout, and of course there's more news about the Super League. Now that it is off the table officially, according to Andrea Agnelli, who has said that it can't go on like this because there's only a few clubs left, it looks like they may be in for a little bit of hurt. That is according to UEFA, who have said that the clubs may be punished in the future, but for the moment there is only a very small chance that the Champions League semi-finals will not go ahead next week, and that is because they have a duty to provide what the television broadcasters are actually paying for. Of course, like we mentioned the other day, if they weren't to go ahead and all of the teams would be punished and banned from the Champions League this season, it would literally just leave PSG in the semi-finals by themselves. As you mentioned then, looks like it's not going to happen, and PSG against Manchester City will go ahead, as will Real Madrid against Chelsea. As for Real Madrid, well, Florentino Perez yet again has still been talking about the merits of the Super League, and one of it, he said, was that they need to create more money because if they don't, football will die. This is sort of tied in with the fact that he's also said if they don't have any Super League money, they can't make big signings like Mbappe and Haaland. Now, of course, for Real Madrid, that's not good. But it's not like those moves are what the rest of the footballing world is angling for. Like, not everybody is so desperate to make money just so they can sign Mbappe and Haaland. There's only one each of them. So it looks a little bit maybe self-centered from Florentino Perez. I'm sure on top of all of this, he is actually trying to think about the wider game as well. It's just maybe not getting his points across in quite the right way. However, on the pitch though, Real Madrid were doing their business last night, and so was Karim Benzema. Honestly, Florentino Perez should forget about Haaland and Mbappe. When you've got Karim doing his things on the pitch with 2 goals and assists last night, he looks evergreen. Like the guy's going to go on forever being Real Madrid's frontman, and he fired them to a victory which sees the side sit joint top at the top of La Liga table alongside Atletico Madrid, although they do have a game in hand. And alongside this, do not rule out Sevilla. I said it a few weeks ago and someone left me a comment being like, Matt, you said it might happen, but you didn't think it would, and now it looks like it might do. Who knows? Sevilla, after all this, are in third. Yes, Barcelona have a few games in hand, and I will hold my hands up. I thought Barcelona were going to run away with the title after we came back from the international break, but here we are. A few games later, none of the footballing world makes sense, and like I mentioned, with a 1-0 victory over Levante last night, Sevilla are just 3 points behind, and the unthinkable could become thinkable. The same thing, though, can't exactly be said for Serie A, where Inter Milan, despite the fact they drew 1-0 with Spezia last night, are still on course for their first title in just over 10 years. And that is because closest rivals AC Milan lost 2-1 at home to Sassuolo. It now means that Inter are 10 points clear, and in all honesty, within the next couple of games, you're probably expecting to wrap up the Serie A title, and what a victory it would be. From the club taking the risk of spending big money to bring the likes of Christian Eriksen in, Romelu Lukaku, Alexis Sanchez. There's so many players. I mean, they even threw in the likes of Ashley Young on a free as well. And obviously, trusting Antonio Conte to bring in the players that he wanted, especially like the ones Ashley Young, maybe Alexander Kolarov, who wouldn't necessarily be such an attractive target considering their age and the fact they came in for such low prices. The fact they've trusted him and backed him shows what can happen when you do that for a manager, and he is so close to bringing home the trophy. Of course, there is other football last night as well, as in France, PSG won 5-0, and watch the highlights. Angel Di Maria provided a ridiculous Rabona assist from Mauro. He got a hat-trick, by the way, and now they're into the semi-finals of the Cup. They're alongside Monaco, Montpellier, and 4th division side Valliere. I think that's how you pronounce it. That is an incredible story unfolding, and it will be unbelievable if they manage to get to the final, never mind win it. Elsewhere, though, there was, of course, some Premier League action too, and bad news if you weren't a supporter of any of the European Super League clubs, because 2 of them won last night. As for Spurs, with Ryan Mason in charge, the youngest ever Premier League manager at 29 years old, he saw his Tottenham side come from 1-0 down and pick up a 2-1 victory ahead of the Carabao Cup final, where they all faced Manchester City, who also had a pretty good performance against Aston Villa. After going 1-0 down, they turned it around and there were 2 red cards. The red card for Matty Cash for Villa, it was a cynical foul. Yes, he deserved the red card. For John Stones, this is going to be polarising. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Personally, it was high. And when you look at the frame, when you look at it back, John Stones' foot is like halfway up the guy's leg. Yes, it looks like a red card foul. But having said that, there was no intent to go directly into his leg. John Stones tried to play the ball. His foot's rising as he kicks the ball, misses it, completely misses the ball. So his foot's at that angle and it makes contact with the Aston Villa player. God, this is such a tough one. Anyway, Pep Guardiola's side managed to hold out, as I mentioned, because Cash then got sent off. So the rest of the game was played 10v10, and it sets both teams up nicely for the cup final on Sunday. So moving on, and to a bit of contract news, and finally some good news for Barcelona fans, as apparently there is a new 2-year deal on the table for Lionel Messi, and he's close to signing it. Now, of course, this has been a whole season's worth of speculation about whether or not the Argentine will stay with the club beyond the end of the season, because he can leave for free at the end of every campaign. He was desperate to leave at the beginning of the season, but since then, apparently he's grown to the new manager. He really enjoys working under Ronald Koeman. They, of course, won the Copa del Rey the other day. They are still in the race for La Liga title, and it looks as though Messi has not necessarily completely fallen back in love with the club, but certainly enjoys his time a lot more than he was doing a few months ago. And there's a smile back in his face, and he's playing, he and the team, some brilliant football. Apparently on the table is this 2-year playing contract, but it's a lifetime contract because once he hangs up his boots, which he has said in the past he would like to do at Barcelona, he will be in some sort of ambassadorial role within the club. And basically they'll keep him, his name, his legacy, everything around for the rest of his life, and deservedly so, because what a servant he has been to the club. It is understood that Messi realises now that the club can't necessarily offer him all the money that he wanted, but in giving him a lifetime contract, pretty much sorts him out for the rest of his life. Not exactly that he was earning pittance from the rest of his career. And talking of moves that have been agreed, and potentially David Alaba could be signing on the dotted line within the next week or so. That's because yesterday news broke that he has agreed a deal to Real Madrid. We spoke about this in January. Apparently he agreed a deal, but nothing was signed. Then the clubs were kind of quiet on it, but now apparently they have agreed a deal. He will be moving to the Bernabeu on a contract lasting until 2026, which is a brand new bumper 5-year deal after leaving Bayern Munich on a free after 13 years. And it means that he will join the side for the start of next season. Apparently there will be official confirmation of the signing and from the clubs within the next few weeks, but it does leave some questions over the rest of the players at Real Madrid. Alaba's on a mighty wage at Real, I think almost potentially over 300,000 euros per week. That is similar to the kind of money that Sergio Ramos would want, and he doesn't want a 1-year deal like the club are offering, he wants a 2-year deal. Where does that also leave Rafael Varane? With 1 year left in his contract, apparently they would be willing to accept bids of around 60 to 70 million for the French defender, with Manchester United interested. And I just think that this Alaba deal is the one that kickstarts it all. This is the domino effect. If he leaves Bayern, obviously Upamecano is coming in, but he leaves Bayern, goes to Real. Real then sells Sergio Ramos to someone like PSG, and then maybe PSG get rid of one of their defenders, or maybe they don't, or maybe someone else comes in for Sergio Ramos. This could kickstart, a whole transfer roundabout. And talking of transfer news, lastly then we come to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news that you might have missed. And amongst all of this, Michel Zorc from Dortmund has come out and said that Erling Haaland will be absolutely staying with them. Honestly, last time Dortmund said that about Jadon Sancho, they were absolutely correct, so I've no reason not to believe them now. But if for some reason, whatever happens, because football is a crazy world, Haaland does leave the club, there are rumours that they could be looking to Andre Silva of Frankfurt, who's had a phenomenal season in front of goal for Eintracht, could be the replacement for Haaland. Elsewhere, Bruno Fernandes has said he will tie his long-term contract down to Manchester United if fellow midfielder Paul Pogba does the same. And lastly but not least, Willian has said he will be open to a move to the MLS, but he'll only leave Arsenal once he wins something. Not throwing any shade here, but that might be quite some time. So there you have it then, that's all from me for today. Make sure you let me know your thoughts below. Check out everything else we've got going on, and until next time, I will see you guys later.